I sat in my childhood bedroom in Charleston, afternoon light filtering through lace curtains, acceptance letters from Harvard, Yale, and Columbia spread across my desk like a verdict. My mother paced the room, her designer heels striking the hardwood in sharp, measured beats. "Tech ventures," she said, the words almost a hiss. "Claire, you're a Whitmore. We're attorneys. Your father is a senior partner. I'm a partner. Your brother's a partner. Whitmore and Crane has been our legacy for 4 generations. And it's fossilized." I shot back, angling my laptop so she could see the prototype glowing on the screen. "The legal world is changing, Mom. Someone has to build the bridge between law and technology. Dreams don't pay the bills," she snapped, gesturing at the letters like trophies. "Harvard Law has been your path since the day you were born. The corner office at Whitmore and Crane already has your name on it, literally." She wasn't wrong. My grandfather had commissioned a brass plaque decades earlier, "Claire Whitmore, future partner." It hung in the office meant for me, quietly gathering dust while I spent my nights writing code and pitching investors. That was 10 years ago. Now, at 35, I stood in my Manhattan office on the 54th floor, glass walls framing a skyline worth trillions. That little tech distraction had become Lexera Systems, a legal tech powerhouse with a $5.6 billion valuation after our latest funding round. Our AI-driven research engine wasn't just reshaping the industry. It was owning it. Progressive firms lined up for contracts. The rest scrambled to survive. "Ms. Whitmore," my assistant's voice came through the intercom. "Your brother Andrew is on line 1. He says it's urgent." I smiled. I already knew why. The news had broken minutes earlier. Lexera Systems had acquired controlling interests in 3 of the nation's largest legal research platforms. Any major firm, including Whitmore and Crane, now needed our approval to access essential case law. "Hello, Andrew," I said calmly. "Claire, God, tell me this isn't true." "You'll have to be more specific," I replied, glancing at my second monitor as real-time dashboards showed firms rushing to secure contracts. Whitmore and Crane sat among the stubborn holdouts, clinging to outdated systems. "The acquisitions," he said, breathless. "The controlling stake in LexisNexis. Do you realize what this means?" "It means," I said evenly, "that the industry finally caught up to what I tried to explain to Mom and Dad 10 years ago." He exhaled, heavy and tired. "The partners are panicking. Dad's called an emergency meeting. Without access to your platforms, we'll lose half our clients within months." I let the silence stretch, my gaze drifting to the brass plaque mounted on the back wall of my office, a relic from a life I outgrew. "Funny," I said at last, "how technology matters now." A pause. "Claire," Andrew said quietly, "we need you. Will you come to the meeting?" I looked out over Manhattan, glass and steel blazing in the afternoon sun. "When?" "Tomorrow morning, please. It's family." "Family." I laughed under my breath. The same family that called me unrealistic. The same voices that told me to grow up and stop wasting my potential. "We were wrong," Andrew admitted softly. "Obviously," I murmured, opening my laptop. A few keystrokes pulled up Whitmore and Crane's financials. Legacy had its disadvantages, especially when you were public. Billable hours down 32% year over year. Client retention hemorrhaging. They didn't just need our databases. They needed a digital resurrection. "Fine," I said, "I'll be there." Relief flooded his voice. "Thank you. But, Andrew," I added, "tell Mom to wear comfortable shoes. This meeting might run long." I ended the call and turned toward the sunset, gold fire spilling across the towers. On my desk sat my own brass plaque, a gift from my team after our first billion-dollar valuation. "Claire Whitmore, Dreamer CEO." Sometimes dreams don't just pay the bills. They rewrite the rules. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "The partners want to know your terms." I smiled, remembering every Thanksgiving laugh, every holiday jab about my little coding hobby. "No terms yet," I typed back. "I'm just coming to hear what the great Whitmore and Crane thinks about technology now." Tomorrow was going to be very interesting. My father sat at the head of the long mahogany table, framed by floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Park Avenue. He looked older than I remembered, his once commanding presence softened by strain. Andrew sat to his right, tugging at his tie as if it might strangle him. "Before we begin," I said, placing my laptop on the table, "there's something you need to see." The partners exchanged uneasy glances as I connected to the projector, a clunky relic from the late 90s. It whirred, flickered, then finally surrendered to life. Even the equipment was behind the times. A dashboard filled the screen, clean, ruthless, real-time. "This red line," I said, pointing, "is Whitmore and Crane's efficiency compared to firms running on Lexera. The blue line is client satisfaction. And this," I highlighted a steep decline, "is your market share over the last 3 years." "We understand," a senior partner snapped. "You've made your point. Name your price for access." I smiled faintly. "You think this is about access?" My father finally spoke, his voice roughened by age and pressure. "Your company controls the research platforms we need." "No," I said, closing my laptop with a quiet click. "This is about survival. Whitmore and Crane isn't falling behind." I met his gaze. "It's becoming irrelevant." The room erupted in offended murmurs. Andrew stared at his hands like they belonged to someone else. "How dare you?" a partner began. "How dare I what?" I cut in smoothly. "Tell you the truth? Show you data? The same truth I tried to explain 10 years ago, before you laughed and called me a dreamer?" My mother's mouth tightened, precise and bloodless. "We've done just fine without you, Claire." "Have you?" I slid a tablet across the table. The screen glowed with a list of departing clients. 30 major accounts lost this year alone, all to firms using Lexera. Not because they're better attorneys, because they're faster, smarter, and modern. Silence dropped like a guillotine. "What do you want?" my father asked quietly. I walked to the windows, the city laid out below like a chessboard waiting for the next move. "The chairman is retiring next month," I said. The air shifted. "That information is confidential," someone snapped. "How do you?" Andrew started. "I know everything about this firm," I said, turning back. "Every metric, every liability, every weakness." My mother's voice cracked like brittle glass. "And you think you can fix it?" "This firm survived 3 generations," I said evenly. "It won't survive a 4th without radical change." I placed my hands on the table, locking eyes with each of them. "I'm not here to negotiate database access. I'm here to transform this firm." "Under you?" someone scoffed. "Under someone," I replied calmly, "who understands both the law and the technology keeping it alive. Someone who built a multi-billion-dollar company while you dismissed her." My father stood slowly, authority draining from his posture, replaced by something dangerously close to fear. "And if we say no? Then you'll join the firms that collapsed last year," I said lightly. "The industry is moving forward. You can adapt or disappear." Uneasy glances circled the table. My mother's manicured hands gripped the edge so tightly her knuckles whitened. "The chairman role," my father said at last. "That's what you want." I glanced at the brass plaque outside the room, the one meant to define my future. "No," I said, smiling. "I want more." His voice wavered. "More than chairman?" I tapped a key. The projector shifted. Gasps rippled across the table as bold letters filled the screen. "Lexera Systems proposes a full acquisition of Whitmore and Crane. We'll keep the name," I said evenly, "but everything else changes." My mother whispered, "You want to buy us?" "Actually," I said softly, "I already did." The color drained from Andrew's face. "The clients you've been losing didn't leave," I continued. "They were absorbed through Lexer-controlled subsidiaries. As of this morning, we manage 60% of your former billing base." Andrew shuffled papers, frantic now, like a man searching for proof the floor hadn't vanished beneath him. "That's impossible. We would have known." "Would you?" I raised an eyebrow. "From the same firm still running Windows 7. The same firm that hasn't updated security protocols since 2018. The same firm that keeps confidential client files in filing cabinets." Silence fell, a quiet surrender. "As of 9 a.m. I continued, measured, Lexera Systems holds controlling interest in Whitmore and Crane. I'm not here to negotiate. I'm here to announce." My father sank into his chair, the weight of defeat bowing his shoulders. His voice was barely audible. "All this time, While we thought you were playing with computers, I was building the future, I said, stepping forward so there was no mistaking my resolve. The same future I tried to show you 10 years ago. I placed my palms on the glossy table, meeting every eye in the room. Here's what happens next. Every partner has 2 weeks to decide. Join the new Whitmore and Crane, fully integrated, modernized, and competitive, or retire with a generous package. And leadership? A younger partner asked, clearing his throat. A new board, I said, my voice slicing through the tension. And this time, I choose the board. Dad, I added, turning to him, I'd like you to stay as chairman emeritus. His brows lifted in surprise. Mom, I said, there's an opening to lead client relations, if you're willing to embrace modern methods. They exchanged a look, and for the first time in my life, I saw it, uncertainty. Decades of control and tradition crumbling under the weight of undeniable change. And that office? Andrew asked quietly, nodding toward the brass plaque. I smiled. It's our new innovation lab, where young lawyers dream up ways to practice law without being told they're wasting their time. Over the next hour, I laid out my vision. AI-powered research that could do in minutes what took entire teams days. Virtual courts, digital filing systems, client portals delivering real-time updates. Everything I'd once been dismissed for dreaming was now reality. As the partners filed out, still stunned but cautiously hopeful, Mom lingered. I don't understand, she said softly, stripped of her usual edge. Why didn't you just let us fail after everything we did to you? I met her eyes. Because, despite everything, this firm is family, and family doesn't let family become obsolete. 1 month later, I stood in the newly renovated offices of Whitmore and Crane Digital Solutions. Gone were the mahogany walls and stiff portraits. In their place, sunlight, glass partitions, collaborative workspaces humming with energy. The old brass plaque still had a place, mounted beneath a new one etched in steel. Her dreams built this. Late one evening, Dad stepped into my office, in my real office. You know the strangest part? He asked, watching a team of young lawyers work seamlessly with AI tools he once mocked. What's that? You ended up exactly where we always wanted you. I tilted my head. How so? Leading Whitmore and Crane, he said with a faint smile, just not the way we expected. I thought of that terrified 25-year-old who walked away from certainty to bet on herself. No, I said quietly, I ended up exactly where I wanted. You just couldn't see it then. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't proving people wrong, it's proving yourself right, so completely that even your doubters have to follow your lead. The corner office you're meant for isn't the one your family picks, it's the one you build yourself. If you're still here, it means this story resonated with you. That means we share something powerful, the courage to dream bigger than anyone expects. Drop a comment. Tell me which moment hit hardest, walking away from certainty, surviving years everyone thought I'd fail, or walking back into that boardroom and flipping the script. Share your story. I know some of you are still in the storm, wondering if your dream is worth it. Some of you are standing where I once stood, ready to break every expectation. And if you're rooting for me, if you want to see what comes next, hit subscribe. This isn't the end, it's just the start of something bigger. Here's my advice. Stop asking for permission to live the life you want. Stop waiting for validation. Nobody will fight for your vision like you will. People will doubt you, call you unrealistic, reckless, selfish. Let them talk. The same voices that tried to hold you back will one day follow your lead. So start building your corner office, whether it's in your kitchen right now. Start crafting your future, even if it scares you. Because the only thing scarier than chasing your dream is living with the regret of never trying. Subscribe now. The best part of this story is still ahead.